come along. It's time to learn and sing our song. With fun and games we'll play all day and learn new things along the way. We'll count the stars and dance in rain. We'll find adventures in every lane. With laughter bright and hearts so wide, on this journey we'll take pride. Let's explore the world so grand, with magic in our hands. Through fields of dreams we'll boldly roam. Together we'll call this place our home.
Welcome to today's deep dive into the incredible respiratory system. In this video, we'll explore how your body takes in oxygen and gets rid of carbon dioxide. From the airways to the lungs, and all the way to the tiny alveoli, you'll discover how this complex system works to fuel every cell in your body. What is the respiratory system, you might be asking? Well, the respiratory system is the network of organs and tissues that enable breathing, delivering oxygen to the body, and removing carbon dioxide, a waste product of metabolism. It includes the nose, nasal cavity, throat, pharynx, voice box, larynx, windpipe, trachea, lungs, and the diaphragm. Air is inhaled through the nose or mouth, passes through the airways, and reaches the lungs, where oxygen is exchanged for carbon dioxide in tiny air sacs called alveoli. The oxygen-rich blood is then circulated throughout the body, while carbon dioxide is exhaled. This process supports cellular function and maintains life. The respiratory system is composed of several essential organs that work together to facilitate breathing and gas exchange. Air enters through the nose or mouth, where it is filtered, warmed, and moistened in the nasal cavity. It then travels down the pharynx, throat, and passes through the larynx, voice box, which also produces sound. The air continues through the trachea, windpipe, a tube that divides into the bronchi, directing air into each lung. Within the lungs, the bronchi branch into smaller bronchioles, leading to tiny air sacs called alveoli, where oxygen is absorbed into the blood and carbon dioxide is expelled. The diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle beneath the lungs, controls breathing by contracting to draw air in and relaxing to push it out. Together, these organs maintain the body's oxygen supply and remove waste gases, ensuring proper cellular function. The lungs are the central organs of the respiratory system, responsible for the crucial exchange of gases that sustains life. Located in the chest cavity, the lungs are spongy and elastic to accommodate the air we inhale. When we breathe in, air travels through the trachea and bronchi into smaller bronchioles, eventually reaching the alveoli, tiny sac-like structures surrounded by capillaries. In the alveoli, oxygen from the air diffuses into the blood, while carbon dioxide, a waste product from the body, diffuses out of the blood to be exhaled. The lungs work in coordination with the diaphragm and intercostal muscles, which control the movement of air in and out, ensuring the body receives enough oxygen to fuel cellular functions and expels carbon dioxide to maintain a stable internal environment. The nose plays a vital role in the respiratory system as the primary entry point for air. It filters, warms, and humidifies the air before it travels to the lungs. Tiny hairs called cilia and a sticky mucus lining inside the nasal cavity trap dust, pollen, and other airborne particles, preventing them from reaching deeper parts of the respiratory system. Additionally, the nose's structure helps to condition the air, warming it to body temperature and adding moisture, which protects the delicate tissues in the lungs from irritation or drying out. The sense of smell, controlled by olfactory receptors in the nose, also plays a secondary role, signaling environmental hazards like smoke or harmful chemicals that could affect breathing. This combination of functions ensures that the air entering the respiratory system is clean, safe, and optimized for efficient gas exchange. The throat, or pharynx, is a crucial part of the respiratory system, serving as a shared passageway for air and food. It connects the nasal cavity and mouth to the larynx, voice box, and esophagus. In respiration, the throat directs inhaled air from the nose or mouth into the larynx and trachea. It also plays a protective role, as the epiglottis, a flap of cartilage at the base of the throat, closes over the trachea when swallowing to prevent food or liquid from entering the airway. This ensures a clear pathway for air to reach the lungs. Additionally, the throat contains lymphatic tissues, such as the tonsils and adenoids, which help filter pathogens and support the immune system, contributing to respiratory health. The trachea, commonly known as the windpipe, is a vital organ in the respiratory system, acting as the main airway that connects the larynx, voice box, to the bronchi of the lungs. It is a tube-like structure made of C-shaped rings of cartilage, which provide support and keep the airway open while allowing flexibility during breathing and movement. The inner lining of the trachea is covered with cilia and mucus, which trap dust, microorganisms, and other particles, moving them upward to be expelled or swallowed, protecting the lungs from contamination. The trachea ensures that air inhaled through the nose or mouth is directed smoothly into the bronchi and further into the lungs, facilitating efficient gas exchange. Its structure and function are essential for maintaining a clear and reliable pathway for breathing. Alveoli are tiny, balloon-like air sacs in the lungs that play a critical role in the respiratory system by facilitating gas exchange. Located at the end of the bronchioles, these microscopic structures are surrounded by a dense network of capillaries. When air reaches the alveoli during inhalation, oxygen from the air diffuses across their thin walls into the blood, where it binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells for transport throughout the body. Simultaneously, carbon dioxide, a waste product from cellular metabolism, diffuses from the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled. The large surface area of the alveoli and their thin walls maximize efficiency in this gas exchange process, making them essential for maintaining proper oxygen levels in the blood and expelling carbon dioxide from the body. Bronchioles are small tube-like structures in the respiratory system that branch off from the larger bronchi and lead to the alveoli within the lungs. These tiny airways play a crucial role in directing air to the areas where gas exchange occurs. Unlike the bronchi, bronchioles lack cartilage, making them more flexible, and they are lined with smooth muscle, which can contract or relax to regulate airflow. This ability to adjust airflow helps the body respond to changing oxygen demands, such as during exercise or rest. The bronchioles also have a lining of cilia and mucus that helps trap and remove particles, preventing debris and pathogens from reaching the alveoli. By efficiently distributing air throughout the lungs, bronchioles ensure that oxygen reaches the alveoli and carbon dioxide is carried out, maintaining the respiratory system's critical functions. Hey there! If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out and keeps you updated with all our latest content. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Let's keep going! Several factors can cause the respiratory system to fail, compromising its ability to provide oxygen and remove carbon dioxide effectively. Here are some things that can cause your respiratory system to malfunction. Smoking harms the respiratory system in several significant ways by introducing harmful chemicals, such as tar, nicotine, and carbon monoxide, into the lungs. These substances damage the cilia, the tiny hair-like structures in the airways that trap and expel dust, debris, and microorganisms, making it harder for the respiratory system to clean itself. Over time, the tar from cigarette smoke accumulates in the lungs, reducing their elasticity and impairing airflow. Smoking also causes inflammation and swelling in the airways, narrowing them and making breathing difficult. Chronic smoking can lead to diseases like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis, which progressively damage lung function. Additionally, it significantly increases the risk of lung cancer, as carcinogenic substances in tobacco smoke trigger mutations in lung cells. Smoking also affects the immune system, making the lungs more vulnerable to infections like pneumonia and tuberculosis. Smoking contributes to air pollution and harms the respiratory system by releasing harmful chemicals into both the lungs of the smoker and the surrounding environment. Cigarette smoke contains over 7,000 chemicals, many of which are toxic and carcinogenic, such as carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, and benzene. When inhaled, these substances irritate and inflame the respiratory tract, damage lung tissue, and reduce lung capacity over time. For non-smokers exposed to secondhand smoke, these pollutants can also irritate their respiratory system, increasing the risk of asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory illnesses. On a broader scale, the particulate matter and gases released into the air from smoking contribute to outdoor air pollution, particularly in densely populated areas. This pollution exacerbates respiratory issues not only for smokers, but also for the wider population, especially those with pre existing conditions like asthma or COPD. Smoking related air pollution adds to the overall burden on public health by degrading air quality and intensifying respiratory problems for vulnerable individuals. Smoking increases the risk of respiratory infections and harms the respiratory system by weakening the immune system and damaging the natural defenses of the airways and lungs. The chemicals in tobacco smoke impair the function of cilia, the tiny hair like structures in the respiratory tract that trap and clear out mucus, bacteria, and viruses. When cilia are damaged or paralyzed, pathogens are more likely to accumulate and cause infections. Smoking also causes inflammation in the airways and weakens the immune response, making it harder for the body to fight off infections like bronchitis, pneumonia, and the flu. Chronic exposure to smoke can lead to long-term respiratory conditions, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which further predispose individuals to frequent and severe infections. Smokers are also at higher risk of infections like tuberculosis and may experience more severe symptoms and complications compared to non-smokers. This combination of weakened defenses and increased vulnerability makes smoking a significant factor in developing and worsening respiratory infections. Secondhand smoke harms the respiratory system by exposing non-smokers to the same harmful chemicals found in tobacco smoke, including tar, carbon monoxide, and carcinogens, without directly smoking. When inhaled, secondhand smoke irritates the airways and lungs, causing inflammation and reducing lung function over time. For children, it increases the risk of respiratory infections, asthma attacks, and even sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. In adults, it can exacerbate existing respiratory conditions like asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and long-term exposure significantly increases the risk of developing lung cancer. Secondhand smoke also weakens the immune system, making it harder to fight off infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia. Continuous exposure can lead to chronic coughing, wheezing, and difficulty breathing, even in healthy individuals. Since it contains fine particulate matter, secondhand smoke lingers in the air and affects anyone nearby, making it a serious public health concern. Protecting oneself from secondhand smoke is essential for maintaining respiratory health and overall. Vaping or using e-cigarettes can harm the respiratory system in several ways, despite being marketed as a safer alternative to smoking. The aerosol produced by vaping devices contains harmful chemicals, including nicotine, formaldehyde, and diacetyl, as well as fine particles that can irritate and inflame the airways. These substances can damage the cells lining the respiratory tract, leading to reduced lung function and increased susceptibility to infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia. The heating elements in e-cigarettes may also produce toxic byproducts, and flavored e-liquids often contain chemicals that can irritate or scar lung tissues. Vaping has been associated with conditions like vaping-associated lung injury, EVALI, which can cause severe respiratory distress and even be life-threatening. Additionally, the nicotine in e-cigarettes can impair lung development in young users and exacerbate respiratory problems like asthma. While vaping may expose users to fewer toxins than traditional smoking, it still poses significant risks to respiratory health. Some healthy habits to keep your respiratory system healthy. Avoiding smoking significantly improves your respiratory system by preventing exposure to harmful chemicals found in tobacco smoke, such as tar, nicotine, and carbon monoxide, which damage lung tissues and airways. When you avoid smoking, the cilia in your respiratory tract, responsible for trapping and removing debris, can function more effectively, reducing the risk of infections like bronchitis and pneumonia. Over time, lung capacity and oxygen exchange improve as inflammation in the airways decreases. Avoiding smoking also lowers the risk of developing chronic respiratory diseases, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and emphysema, and reduces the likelihood of lung cancer. Furthermore, staying smoke-free enhances your immune system, making it easier for your body to fight off respiratory infections. For former smokers, quitting allows damaged lung tissues to begin repairing themselves, improving overall respiratory health and quality of life. Regular exercise improves your respiratory system by enhancing the efficiency of your lungs and the muscles involved in breathing. During physical activity, your body demands more oxygen, which causes your respiratory rate to increase. This strengthens your diaphragm and intercostal muscles, making breathing more effective over time. Exercise also increases lung capacity, allowing your lungs to hold and process more air, which improves oxygen delivery to the bloodstream. Additionally, regular aerobic activities, such as walking, jogging, or swimming, improve the elasticity of the airways and the efficiency of gas exchange in the alveoli. Exercise also helps clear mucus from the lungs, reducing the risk of infections and improving overall lung function. By promoting better circulation, it helps the respiratory and cardiovascular systems work together more effectively, ensuring cells receive adequate oxygen and waste gases like carbon dioxide are removed efficiently. Over time, these benefits lead to stronger, healthier lungs and a reduced risk of respiratory diseases. Staying hydrated improves your respiratory system by maintaining the moisture balance in your airways and supporting the efficient function of the lungs. Proper hydration keeps the mucous membranes lining your respiratory tract moist, which helps trap dust, allergens, and microorganisms, preventing them from reaching deeper parts of your lungs. Thin, well-hydrated mucus is easier to move and clear from the airways with the help of cilia, the tiny hair-like structures that sweep debris out of the respiratory system. Adequate hydration also prevents dryness and irritation in the respiratory tract, reducing the risk of inflammation and discomfort. For individuals with respiratory conditions like asthma or chronic bronchitis, staying hydrated can help manage symptoms by thinning mucus, making it easier to expel. Overall, drinking enough water supports respiratory efficiency, helps prevent infections, and ensures your lungs and airways function smoothly. Maintaining good air quality improves your respiratory system by reducing exposure to harmful pollutants, allergens, and irritants that can damage lung tissues and impair breathing. Clean air minimizes the risk of inflammation and irritation in the airways, preventing conditions such as asthma attacks, chronic bronchitis, or allergies. For individuals with respiratory conditions, improved air quality reduces the frequency and severity of symptoms, allowing the lungs to function more efficiently. Good air quality also limits the inhalation of fine particulate matter, chemicals, and toxins that can accumulate in the lungs over time, decreasing the risk of long-term respiratory diseases like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and lung cancer. Clean environments support the natural defense mechanisms of the respiratory system, such as cilia and mucus, by reducing their workload, thus allowing them to operate more effectively in trapping and removing harmful particles. Overall, maintaining good air quality promotes healthier lungs, better oxygen exchange, and enhanced overall respiratory health. Thank you for exploring the incredible respiratory system with us. From the journey of air through the nose to the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the lungs, this system truly keeps us alive and thriving. Remember, keeping your respiratory system healthy is essential, so make smart choices like staying active, hydrated, and avoiding harmful pollutants. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends to help spread knowledge and health awareness. Stay tuned for more fascinating content, and thanks for watching!
Welcome kids to Learning Land. Grab your dreams and take a stand. Colors, numbers, letters too. Adventures here for me and you. Let's explore and have some fun. Count to 10, it's just begun. Sing and dance across the screen. In Learning Land we'll be a team. Learning is a magic ride. play. Every day is a learning day. Join us now.